Present.
Counselor Johnson,
Present.
Counselor Quace,
Present.
Counselor Hendrickson,
Present.
Counselor Jecka.
Present.
Okay, we'll start with the mayoral update. Only a couple of things for that. I want to review the rules for speaking at the council meetings. If a resident would like to come up and address the council, please do so from the podium, state your name and address for the record, make your comments and limit your comments to 3 minutes. My trusty sidekick here will be timing. So when 3 minutes are up, you will be informed and you will be asked to step down. So make sure that you know what you're going to be talking about before you come up here. And when you do come up here to speak, please address the council through me. Do not address any other members of the audience. This is not a public forum. This is a council meeting where the council is set to conduct city business. That's all that this meeting is for. We do welcome your input and your comments. So please feel free to continue to do so when I ask if there are comments or questions from the audience. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, we've been talking about it all month, about the Rice Lake Road Corridor Project meeting that the county held last week. It was held on Thursday. There were 2 meetings. One of them was in the afternoon for local businesses located on the corridor or any other businesses that were interested in getting more information. We had a pretty significant attendance for that. We had some real good feedback from some of the business owners that were here in support of the project, which I know made those of us that overheard those comments happy. The county came in well informed. They had some very nice signage showing a lot of detail about the project, about the detours, about the timeline. It was very informative and very helpful. They brought the same presentation down to North Star Academy that night for any residents. And I was extremely pleased with the turnout that we had there. I saw quite a few people that I know there, and it was great. I hope you found it as informative as I did. There were still mixed feelings about that project, but that's going to be the case. Not everybody's gonna like everything about the project, but I still find it very exciting. I find it very, very good for Rice Lake. And hopefully as time goes on, we'll get more residents on board feeling that way as well. That being said, let's move on to public discussion. Are there any items that any of you in the audience would like to discuss that are not on the agenda tonight? Don't all run up here at once. Okay, we will move on. And again, there will be a chance for you to speak on any of the specific items on the agenda if you have questions or concerns. Next, we have the consent agenda, which includes the minutes from October 6th, 2025 finance meeting, and also the October 13th, 2025 council meeting. We have executed claims from October 14th, 2025 to October 27th, 2025, totaling $56,805.17. Counselors, do you have any questions or concerns about anything in the consent agenda? Okay, then I will look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Councilor Johnson has made the motion to approve. A second.
I'll second the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Councilor Jecka has seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Department reports. Utility update report. Jane?
All right, for utilities for the month of October, starting with water, Minnesota Department of Health leadline service inventory update. SEH has completed the second year of the inventory update. Although There wasn't a significant change on the private side with 8 unknowns updated to the non-lead. The public side had 126 updated from unknown to non-lead. New connections were also added to the inventory. This update was sent to the Minnesota Department of Health on October 21st of 2025 to meet the requirements. We will continue to work on the remainder unknown on both private and public side update. Private side totals here, non-lead, previous was 303, current is 324. Galvanized needing to be replaced, or galvanized needing replacement, previously was 4, still is currently 4. Lead needing replacement, previously was 1, current is still 1. Unknown 84, current 76. No private service, previously was at 0, currently we're now sitting at 17. Previous totals is 392, with the current total is 422. Now on the public side of the system, non-lead previously was 233, we're currently at 389. Galvanized, that is needing replacement, we were previously 0, we're still currently at 0. Lead needing replacement, previously was 0, currently at 0. Unknown, 159. Currently, we're down to 33. So the totals for previous were at 392. The current total is 422. We have a little water worth update. Over the past 2 months, we have supplied our consultants at Waterworth with the utility billing assets and revenue information to be imported into the system to use for capital improvement planning, budgeting, and utility rates modeling. Tony and Robin have attended virtual meetings, learning how this data can be used for the future planning. Sewer generator project for the lift stations. A little update here. So over the next couple weeks, Public Works will be placing the generators on the platforms, each lift station, and working with the electrical contractors to connect them. Little update. I hadn't spoken with Robin, obviously previously till this was made. All the generators are already currently at all the lift stations, and most of the wiring is already completed. Moving on here, the new utility connections, utility connection permits. We issued 10 UC permits for 2025 year to date, 4 commercial, 6 residential, and 4 more are pending. This report was created by Robin Reed.
Pretty significant change between the unknowns and the public system side. That's wonderful. That's Jonathan. Comments on this? So,
I actually liked hearing about that Waterworth update, because I know we had talked about that, and so, as we continue to use that system, I'd be interested to know how it's going.
Sure, yep. Yeah, and I think, in one of the November meetings, we are planning on submitting a utility rates for 26, and hopefully that will be some of the information we use.
Perfect, great. Question on the lead line. I think I know what house this is. Is that correct?
Yes,
What is our plan forward to getting that fixed? Is it currently shut off right now?
no, usually when we send out our annual consumer confidence report that we're required to send out for Minnesota Department of Health for drinking water. One of the things we include in there is lead lines and what that means, and also how you can use them safer. So they say no lead line is safe, but if you're going to drink from it, you're supposed to let it run for a little while to flush and get the lead out of the pipes. So is included in there. Hopefully this resident does that.
any funding available that we can bring to the resident? It'd be nice to get this one clear off. the
Yeah.
roads.
I believe there is. I'm not sure when that funding kicks in. Right now, they're really just concentrating on inventorying everything. And once that phase is done, then they'll move into replacement requirements. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I got a question for Shane. Understand, good job on getting all of this being generated up. I understand those are diesel.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, you have a plan to do a regular exercise on those or?
Yeah, that'll be set up with total energy systems. They'll come through. I thought the last I spoke with them, it was. It's not monthly, you might recall. They'll come through and they'll run them and they'll both test them, and put them through an actual mode. And you want to run them for X amount of minutes. You don't want to start them and run them for 5 minutes and back off. Just put some stations up there too. Get them up to, operating temperature and then they put them over on them. There will be fuel additives and stuff that'll be put in fuel and stuff, obviously too.
Okay, next is the sewer and water comparison spreadsheet. We decided at an earlier meeting, we're not gonna read all of this, but I assume you've all had a chance to look at it. Any questions? We'll move on. Council reports. Counselor Hendrickson.
Yeah, so I attended the quarterly employee luncheon, we all did, and I thought that was really beneficial to sit with some of the staff that was there and listen to some of their concerns that they've had with the city, as well as some of the goals that we have and what, as long as they can align, it was really important to go to. So that was a lot of fun. And then pickleball is one of the fastest growing sports in the country, right? So I have started to look at some of those courts, possibly about getting a grant, and possibly putting them in our city park. So just getting some quotes on that and hoping that we can offer something that would be really fun for any residents here. So,
I know that is growing quickly.
yeah,
At some place.
it's a fun game.
Counselor Johnson?
Thank you. Yes, the last month has been very busy at Public Works. All sewage lift stations were prepped for the new generators that were installed last week. Public Works employees prepped all the soil, dug the electrical lines, and they even poured the concrete. I'd like to thank all staff for bringing this added infrastructure dream to fruition. We have Gary Olson in the audience. He would agree that having generators on lift stations is a good thing. We can all sleep through that. So I appreciate everybody getting this grant and getting it done. Robin, if you're out there, thank you. I miss you. Nelson Road had some ditching done. Class 5 gravel was placed on both the Nelson and Ravine Road. We did have a resident concerned about the stop signs and line of sight issues at the intersection of Arnold and West Tisha Road. I reached out to St. Louis County to discuss it further, as these are county roads. And Vic Lund did get back to us and to the resident with a letter stating they will not do any added maintenance signs. They'll go look for mowing, because I think the brush got up high in the northeast corner, so. We also had a complaint about the grading on Fairview Road. I did tell the resident we've been short-staffed also. I asked if the traffic speed on Fairview Road slowed down, and he stated it had, so that's good. Tony, Carly, Chief Nemi, and I discussed, and Shane was there too, did I forget him? Discussed obtaining 5 more acres of the tax forfeit land just south of the existing line on Schultz Road. This is just long-range planning for the future. We don't have any plans in mind for this property. It is available now, and it would be nice to have it attached to our existing 5 acre zone. So this is something that I think about 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I attended the Duluth area township meeting with Counselor Quay. I also attended utility meetings at City Hall to discuss hookups and future planning. I just want to thank you to all the staff for putting together the City of Rice Lake 10-year anniversary. This slideshow was great, along with all the treats and the cake. I had cake for like 2 to 3 days after. We're all busy. It's a busy time for us.
It was really good, Kate.
This 5 acres that you're talking about, is this what we're going to be talking about surveying a little later? Counselor Quaid, anything come up that you,
Thursday slipped by again without me putting it in writing, so I'll just have to live here, I guess. I haven't been too terribly busy. I've been at the fall interstate committee meeting and a Duluth area township meeting, as well as the Rice Lake corridor, the evening. And it was well attended. That was, yeah, good information out there. Like the mayor mentioned, there are still some people in opposition, but I don't know.
Counselor Jekyll, you want to add anything?
Sure. So this past month I met with CERT, CERT, the Clean Energy Resource Team. And I met with a solar contractor, just to look at the feasibility of actually putting solar on some of our public buildings. There's grant money available for that. So I met with them and we're going to be working on a grant. There'll be more to come on that. I attended the Rice Lake Corridor Open House. That was really great for me to kind of help me wrap my head around the scope of that project a little more, since I'm coming into this later than the rest of the team here. And attended the staff luncheon as well, and I agree there's a lot of value in those, and I look forward to more of them going forward.
I know the fire department Halloween carnival was this past Sunday. I was unable to be there, but how did it go? Counselor Jekyll?
It was good. Say attendance was maybe down a little bit, but it's a great event, and I think kids had a really great time, which is the important thing.
Yeah, it's always a good time. All right, we'll move on to new business. We have the roof for Schultz Training Site structure. This is to approve the quote from Ed Omen Construction in the amount of $5,900. Is there anyone who can talk about this a little bit?
I'd like to make a comment on this one. I want to say in general for this training center and regarding this specifically, I really think there's no good substitute for the type of training that we can do at this facility. You're training in the heat, you're training in the smoke. And, our own members internally have put a lot of time, effort, with their own knowledge, their own tools into putting this thing together. And I want to thank them for that work. So a lot of weekends they've spent doing this. And I think investing in this training center is going to pay dividends for the community in the form of firefighter safety, life safety, and protecting property. So I fully support this.
And so, I mean, it currently has a root, but obviously not,
It's a shipping container. So,
yeah.
yeah, this would protect that.
The idea is to build a roof similar to, that has a similar peak pitch to it as a residential roof that we would find. So it's multi-purpose in that it provides us another avenue for training. And it also protects those shipping container roofs over time with snow load will degrade and not function as well. They're already leaking water in. So it'll protect the structure and it will give us something to train on.
5,900 doesn't seem unreasonable for a roof.
Is that for two, is that two containers up there, or is it more than that?
There's two one-way, and I haven't seen the actual schematics of how they're planning on building the roof. Is it two or is it three?
I think it was,
There's three,
yeah, because there's two burn box ones.
and then there's one going the other way. So this is, so he's also, throwing in some materials. If you look at the actual quote, there's material thrown in there as well. It covers the labor. And, it is already accounted for from the public safety aid monies that were designated for the project. So this is just one way of that those funds are being used.
So none of this is money out of the residents of Bristol.
Correct.
It's all from aid.
Yeah.
Any other comments, council? Any comments from the audience?
And Leslie, 4942 Arnold Road. I'm a reserve for the fire department. One of the biggest things that I see in that structure is you have big square boxes that are put together. They're not watertight. So every time it rains or snows, you end up with water in an area we're gonna try to do training. And in the wintertime, now it's ice. So there's definitely a safety hazard as far as the upper level of it. And it works its way down all the way through. So this hopefully will mitigate that part of it. We're still working on other parts of it. It's tough to go in there because there's some spots where there's puddles and now you gotta walk through that. So once the roof is on, I believe it's a roof that's a certain distance up. It's just a slope towards the south. So it's pretty simple, but it'll keep the weather up. That's the biggest part of it.
Makes sense. Anyone else? If there's no more discussion from council, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the building. Construction for $5,900.
Councilor Hendrickson has made the motion. I'll look for a second.
All support.
Councilor Clayton has the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 9.2 is the survey for Schultz Fire Trading Site. This is to approve the quote from Alta Land Survey in the amount of $1,850. Who wants to speak to this?
I can talk about it. So as Counselor Johnson said, we are looking at acquiring 5 more acres that is to the south of, the current property that we have on Schultz Road. It is tax forfeit in St. Louis County State Management right now. I did reach out to the county and they said that they would be willing to entertain this conversation. It's a 35-acre parcel and we had talked about, we want the full 35 acres. But there's a stream that goes through, which would really cut down on the accessibility. So we determined in that meeting that, yeah, 5 acres should serve our purposes. So we have submitted an application for a subdivision of that parcel, but part of that application process is a survey. So I did reach out to, Dave with Alta. They had previously done the survey for our original 5 acres that we have, so they have all that information and have the markers, so. We technically we haven't really, levied any money for that property as we, just talked about, we've just been using that public safety aid money for it. So there's about 8,000 left in the South Fire Hall building improvement budget. When I talked to the county, they're estimating it would be around $500 kind of for the actual purchase of the land. So, I was recommending that we just use that money from the South Fire Hall building improvement budget. We don't at this time have a need for it, so it should be surplus for the remainder of the year.
Sounds like we plan to meet in council.
How big is the lot that we own there now?
It's 5 acres.
So this would give us a total of 10.
Yeah.
Any other comments, council?
This is what happens when you volunteer for a weekend and sit up there for 4 hours. And people drop brush by, you sit there and you're like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna think about stuff. So, that's some time to think.
So there's money in the budget, so it won't cost a resident anything. We get to double the piece of property for about $2,300 total.
I don't see a downside to that.
So pretty cheap, I think.
Comments from the audience?
Why?
I can't buy acreage that cheap, so that's pretty impressive.
Get it when you can.
Exactly. We have more of a need for it. All right, if there's no more comments from council, I'll take a motion to approve getting the survey for 1850 and moving on to purchase.
I'll make a motion to approve the survey. The Schultz Road, extra 5 acres of land.
Okay, Councilor Johnson's made the motion.
I'll support it.
Councilor Henderson is on a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Let's do a survey. Okay, next on the agenda is a second reading. The Drift Toppers gambling permit. We did discuss this at our last meeting. This is a snowmobile raffle permit application be held at Boomtown. Did we confirm that it is in 26?
Yes.
And is there any further conversation on this one? Audience? Then I'll look for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the Drift Toppers gambling permit.
Counselor Hendrickson has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Counselor Quaid has seconded. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Unfinished business. Do we have any? Then we have next month's calendar. Election Day on November 4th. 6:30 on Wednesday is the community club meeting. On November 10th, we have a 5 o'clock budget meeting followed with our 6 o'clock city council meeting here at City Hall. City Hall will be closed on the 11th for Veterans Day. On the 18th, we have a 6 o'clock planning and zoning meeting here at City Hall. The 19th is a 6:30 MIC meeting. You know where that is?
The last two were virtual, I don't think it posted them yet.
Okay. On Monday, the 24th at 5, there's WLSSD. 6 o'clock is our second city council meeting. And City Hall will be closed on the 27th and 28th for Thanksgiving. Anything we're missing on the calendar? I know Thanksgiving already. All right, then the next phase of our meeting is a closed meeting for the performance review of our city administrator. This is closed per state statute. So that the council can evaluate the performance of our city administrator. Do we need a motion to close the meeting?
You do, yes.
Okay. Have a motion here. No, we're just closing the meeting. We're not adjourned. Counselor Quaid has made the motion to close the meeting. For a second.
Second.
Counselor Jenica has seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion passes. So it is a closed meeting. If you want to stick around and come back for adjournment, feel free, but there won't be anything else discussed. Thank you for coming to tonight's meeting.
Who hasn't seen the boxes?
Yes.